slowly and get there on his own time? Or did he put every ounce of energy and speed of what he had in his body to be able to get out there and be able to engage the enemy? And I want that to be the effort that you all put into this challenge this morning. Does that make sense? Okay. So, Robbins,
Here.
target point 1. Van Hook.
Here.
2. Johnson.
Here.
Target point 3. Quinn.
Here.
4. Lackey.
Here.
Target point 5. White.
Here.
Target point 6. Anderson.
Here.
Target point 7. Frosto.
Here.
8. Diaz.
Here.
9. Hernandez Castaneda.
Here.
10. Verdun.
Here.
11. Calhoun.
Here.
12. McLean.
Here.
13. Rose.
Here.
14. Watson.
Here.
15. Vasquez.
Here.
16. Combs.
Here.
17. Weaver.
Here.
18. Gallivan.
Here.
19. Williams.
Here.
20. Tep.
Here.
21. Bussy.
Here.
22. Lucena.
Here.
23. Gilbert.
Here.
24. Swick.
Here.
25. Thomas.
Here.
26. Confirming McLaughlin is not here.
Right, sure.
Good. Briggs.
Here.
28. Regard.
Here.
29. Glenn.
Here.
30. Tomasa.
Here.
31. Aguilera.
Around.
32. Colonel Sir, you'll be 33. Governor Pope, you'll be 34. Okay, did anybody not get called? Okay, sir, you want to come up?
Hey, good morning, Marines.
Alright.
All right, I'm Colonel Adam Sacchetti. Gunner Vince Pope is over here. First thing, like, why am I here? Why is he here? I was actually Staff Sergeant Malachowski's company commander in Marja in 2011. Fox Company, 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. I've heard a little bit about this Intramural program that you all volunteered and are actively seeking to improve your combat lethality for it. I think it's freaking awesome. Like, you are exactly the type of Marines that are following the legacy of Marines like Staff Sergeant Malachowski, not only because you're putting yourself out there, you're challenging yourself and trying to get better, but you understand the value of combat readiness, of lethality, of making sure that you are as best as you can getting ready for the worst day of your life. If you served with him, one of the biggest things that immediately hit you was his mentality about combat readiness. I think you know at this point he was an instructor here for a few years. I think it was 2007 to 2010. And then he came to Victor 2-8 and deployed with us to Afghanistan. But just his total mentality was focused on physical fitness, leadership, tactics, and he really had a passion for marksmanship and weapons training. And I'm talking to you like if we were in a village in Afghanistan at a patrol base, we would be out on a patrol. It might be a engagement with local population. It might be an active gunfight. We might have a strike where a Marine gets wounded. He would come back to the patrol base, debrief the Marines, go over tactics, ensure everybody cleaned their weapons, and then he would go and work out. Like, he built a gym inside of the patrol base. He would be doing like sprints. I'm talking like we're in like a village in Marja, and he's doing these things because he knew that when it came down to it, he didn't have time to prepare after the action was already upon him. He had to be ready when it occurred. And events like this, the training events that you signed up for and you're trying to get better at, I can't tell you enough how much they matter so much, because you are separating yourself from your peers. You are hopefully separating yourself quite a bit from the enemy, and you don't know when that worst day of your life is going to be. And prove to me that it's not going to be tomorrow. Okay? And you're better for it every day by doing that stuff. I'm going to read a citation for a Valor Award that he was awarded for his actions. When I read the citation, I would like you to just kind of put yourself in that mindset of being him in this environment, physically challenging, austere, dangerous. You're looking up to your brothers and sisters to the left and right of you, not knowing what the result is going to be, but trusting your training and the mentality you have for combat readiness. Because the only difference between a Marine like Staff Sergeant Malachowski and you is the time and opportunity. And you have to remember that. That should be bugging you at all hours of the day, that urgency of time and opportunity is the only thing separating me from a combat environment where I have to use my training on the worst day of my life. Okay? Attention orders. Department of the Navy. This is to certify the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with Combat Distinguishing Device to Staff Sergeant James M. Malachowski, United States Marine Corps, for heroic achievement while serving as 3rd Platoon Sergeant, Company F, 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines, Regimental Combat Team 1, 2nd Marine Division Forward, from January 2011 to March 2011 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. During this period, Staff Sergeant Malachowski led from the front, ensuring the well-being of his Marines through constant mentorship, shared hardship. On 18 March, while leading a patrol with local defense forces, his unit was engaged by enemy forces. He immediately led an assault over 800 meters of open fields while under fire to close with and fix the enemy position. His bold action allowed the company to coordinate an airstrike to neutralize the fixed enemy. On 20 March, Staff Sergeant Malachowski was leading an improvised explosive device sweep with his team when he was wounded by a functioning device. Though seriously injured, he continued to direct his Marines, ensuring the wounded were cared for before succumbing to his wounds. Staff Sergeant Malachowski's initiative, perseverance, and total dedication to duty reflected credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country. Please stand at ease. The things that we talk about here, the things that you talk about in your classes, in your training, in your field training, in your exercises, they matter so much. He can't just flip a switch and all of a sudden be leading a combat patrol out of PB Dakota, feeding myself and our SAC grid coordinates and movement of the enemy situation so we can call in an airstrike. He can't close 800 meters of open terrain while under fire to engage the enemy without that focus of combat readiness. So I'm really honored to be with you all here today. Thank you so much for having me. I want to call Gunner Pope up here, one of the men that trained me and Staff Sergeant Malachowski in marksmanship and other combat readiness items. And just like I said, think about this as you go through your training today, and just remember, it's the time and opportunity. And when is it going to be time for you to fall back on your training? Right.
Right. Thanks, Colonel. Hey, good morning, Marines. All right. So just up front, hey, I spent a little time down here as well. I ran Starlight Range from 98 to 2000. So I know the daily grind out here, how it's a little different from the fleet and everything. But I just want to say a few things here. You know, one, your training, your equipment has evolved tremendously over the past decade. So you're getting the best training that's out there, all right? And it's really what you make of it. As the Colonel was saying out there, it's your time, right, to get better, because we don't know when you're going to be in combat again, so make the most of it. That's what set Staff Sergeant Malachowski apart from others that I would say is, you know, his professionalism. Everything he put himself towards, he just put 100% into it, all right? And that made him a better leader, made him a better warfighter, certainly made him a better combat marksman. So you all in here, I applaud your being able to volunteer for this, you call it intramural competition? So intramural competition, that's step one. The next one is the MIC, right? Some of you will head up that way. It's usually in any kind of competition, it's usually like top 10% of your intramurals get invited to MIC. Top 10% of the MIC gets invited to the Marine Corps Championships. And the top 10% of them, the Marine Corps is looking at it, hey, we want to bring this guy out of the Marine Corps shooting team. So that's the path he took. So, you know, when you look at that intramurals throughout the Marine Corps, that you're looking at like you're one of 1,000 when you make it up to that team. So keep that in mind. But it's all about just giving 100% towards this. When somebody's giving you instruction on some particular aspect about your scope, your rifle, ballistics, or whatever, all ears, and then you use it and pass that on. This particular event, I saw the very first one that they did. Can't remember what year it was, probably 2012-ish, somewhere in there. And I was blown away because the event to running and then going to the range with kit on, it just right away I was like, that was the perfect Malachowski event, because I was with Stafford Malachowski the day before he gave his final measure, and that's exactly what he did. Right? On that day and many others in that deployment, he was a tall, super fit guy. So we're doing the best we can. 70 pounds of kit. That guy could sprint across, you know, these muddy fields out there, full speed. So we had a hard time keeping up with him. I couldn't keep up with him, right? We'd be the maneuver element while he's going frontal assault on it, carrying a bunch of what we call Afghan ISKI forces, which these guys are lightweight, wearing just nothing but flip-flops and an AK. We're in full kit, but Malachowski could outrun any of them, right? Why? Because like the Colonel said, you get back from an 8-hour patrol, boom, debrief, and now we're gonna maintain our fitness, right? The stuff that an 8-hour patrol wears you down, he would make sure that, hey, we're gonna be aerobically fit and we're gonna be strong, right? So he made it happen. You all can too. This is where it all begins, and it's gonna carry you well throughout your tour in the fleet. Whether you go to the Mick matches, or you do one more tour and do some competition, it's gonna pay off in the future. Right? So I'm super stoked and proud to be able to participate in this with y'all. You have no idea what it means. I've been out for several years, but it's just awesome to be among the Marines again. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rick.
Yep.
This is the plaque. This is always presented in our building at the MTU. We have thousands of people that come through our building every year, from JROTC students to educators, to CMC students, to CMT students. Even you guys came through there. Your name can be on this if you win this today. This is what it looks like. All right, so here's the deal.